the KTM Duke 125, a fantastic machine which will take you from point A to point B without a problem. It's the perfect bike for A1 license and a brilliant beginner bike. But can you tour on it? That's the exact same question I had when me and my friend was going on a 1000 kilometer long tour on a 125. And the short answer to that question is yes. You can tour on any bike. Either it be a 70 or 50cc moped or a Hayabusa, you can tour on it. But touring on a small bike will create more challenges than touring on a bigger bike or a touring bike. So if you clicked on this video, you're probably owning a 125 or planning on getting a 125 because you most likely have an A1 license or is planning to get an A1 license, but you still want to go on longer tours. And yeah, it's definitely doable. I highly recommend it. It's very fun. But since this is most likely your first long tour, since you're starting out, I have some recommendations which are kind of suited to 125s and other smaller bikes. So the first thing is take breaks. Even though it's really fun going around and around, when you're driving for hours, it's really important to take breaks and rest. I kind of fell in that trap that I stayed up a bit too long the day before the ride, so I was really tired. It really sucked. It felt like forever. So yeah, take breaks. Really recommend it, and sleep well. Go to sleep early and it should be fun. Some other recommendations is luggage. I went the full 1000 kilometers with a backpack on. I don't recommend a heavy backpack. I highly recommend investing in saddlebags, which I have now done. It's much more comfortable without the backpack, because after a couple hours it becomes really heavy. So kind of some stuff that are maybe not particular to 125s, but on the KTM Duke, is that the seat kind of hard, the pegs kind of high up, and the handlebars are in not too of a sporty position. They're very relaxed. But if you compare this to the Honda CBF, for example, which my friend drove, it's a little bit more relaxed. Put it into gear. A bit more relaxed. The pegs are lower down, the seat is softer. So yeah, the Duke, not the perfect touring bike, but it does a hell of a good job. I don't have too many complaints about it. Just make sure when you're driving that you check your chain often and lubricate it before the ride. And also, if you're going on longer rides like 1000 kilometers like I did, I recommend having a brush and like muck off and lubricants with you, so you can lube the chain on the road, because the chain became very dirty. I also found that on this after these longer rides down here around this front sprocket, it gathered a lot of junk, which kind of touched the chain on the top here. So if you have the possibility, take this off and clean it out every once in a while. Not only on long rides, but all the time. But however, the KTM Duke, fantastic bike. Compared to the Honda CBF 125, which my friend rode, even though it got a more comfortable seat, pegs lower down, a bit better seating position, I would actually prefer the KTM. Well, firstly because it's my bike. I prefer my bike over his, actually, because yes, it's my bike. How can you not, you know? Well, but for the second reason is the engine. As we found out in my other video when I drag raced my friend on his Honda, They have about the same acceleration, up to 60 kilometers per hour. But on longer tours, you often drive at the speed of maybe 60, 70, 80 kilometers per hour. And the Duke handles way better at those speeds. Well, first off, it got bigger tires, it's more stable. And also, it can go on those speeds on lower RPMs. Since these bikes max out at around 115, 120 depending on the road, kilometers per hour. And the Honda tops at around 100. It's way more comfortable actually to cruise on those higher speeds. So compared to the Honda CBF, I actually prefer the Duke. And if you're buying a 125 and especially want to go on longer rides, I recommend like the Duke 125 or the M2 125 or any of those what can I say, higher performance, not like a sport bike, but where you can cruise at around 80, 90, 70 kilometers per hour easily. But as I said, or as my friend said, going on that tour on his CBF was quite easy as well. It was just a bit annoying to try to keep up. So with this being said, I want to challenge you guys to pick up the map, draw a route and go out there. It's hella fun, you won't regret it. And until then, see you guys later.